So going from the Trek Marlin 5 to a Trek Fuel EX 9.7, there's 4 things that I really like. Number 1, transmission. So what do I mean when I say transmission? The first Trek that I had was a 1x7, meaning that it had 1 gear in the front, 7 gears in the back. My second one was a 3x7, have 3 gears in the front, 7 gears in the back. That gives you a little bit more opportunity to kind of play with gears. When I had the 1x7, 7 gears in the back was not enough for me. I struggled to do a lot of the climbs. Got a little bit easier when I went to the 3x7. But then I started running into issues with like the chain continuously like falling off, just the system itself. The transmission was just not the best. And now with the Fuel EX, it's a 1x11, and that's perfect for me. It allows me to climb just about anything. So, and the chain hasn't fallen at all, which is, you know, with the second one I had, the 3x7, my chain would fall. Any little jump that I would do or drop that I would do, and the chain would fall. So I haven't had that issue since I got this bike, and that's been about a year now. Number 2, suspension. All right, so with respect to suspension, the first 2 bikes that I had, both had 100 millimeters up front and obviously no suspension in the back. They were both hardtails. The Fuel EX that I have now is a full suspension. So that's, you know, I have 130 up front and 130 in the back. And that's pretty awesome because it allows me to get through all the, like the rugged and more chunky terrain a lot easier. Yeah, it just makes the ride a lot more comfortable, especially as you're going down. This suspension has a lockout system, so you could stiffen it up. You could stiffen up the bike, and it's almost like riding a hardtail as well. So whenever you have like flat surfaces and things like that, yeah, it is. You know, you can play around with your settings. So depending on the terrain, you can have a good setup with the Fuel EX. 3, dropper post. So both of my hardtails did not have a dropper post, and that was pretty inconvenient. And the more you ride, the more you notice that you need to be able to put that seat away, especially with like I don't know, as you pick up speed, you're doing corners, or as you're going downhill, things like that. You definitely want to be able to get that seat out of the way, because then it allows you to maneuver the bike a lot better. So that's one of the things that I really appreciate with the Fuel EX, that I didn't even know was a thing. But it's a huge difference when you go from a bike without a dropper post, and you've been riding that for about a year and a half, and then you go to a full suspension. You're gonna notice a difference, and it's a lot better riding with the dropper post. So if you don't have one, I recommend that you get one. 4, tubeless tires. So another big difference between my current bike and the bikes that I had before, the tubeless tires. The first 2 bikes that I had tubes, and that's probably like one of my biggest pet peeves with riding mountain bikes is you're out on the trail, and then you get a flat, and then you got to step aside and change flats. I probably changed about 5. I had to patch my tires about 5 different times with my hardtails. And then with these tubeless tires, I have yet to have an incident like that. So really big difference. If you're getting out there and you're hitting like chunky areas, tubeless tires do go a long way, or at least that's been my experience. The other tires from the hardtails just didn't, they didn't do its job the way that I wish they would have. So yeah, no complaints now with the Maxxis tires, tubeless tires that I have on the Fuel EX.